In today's Warzone 2 tips and tricks video, I want to show you guys how you can easily win more solos, so you can finally leave your bedroom and tell your parents that you've got that win, so they don't think you're as much of a disappointment anymore. Now, today's video isn't going to be just a straightforward cookie-cutter imprint of how to win every single game like you see a lot on YouTube. Instead, I want to break it down into 3 stages: the early game, the mid-game, and the late game, and give you valuable tips and tactics that you can use in every game, no matter where you land or what you do. So, without the way, let's get on with it. Now, the early game. This is going to make or break any game in Warzone. And to be honest, if you die in the first few seconds and get sent straight to the Gulag, 9 times out of 10, I would suggest that you just quit and restart. Getting a good start in this game is paramount, especially when you consider that things like cash are very, very scarce. So if you come back from the Gulag late, chances are you're going to spend the rest of the match playing catch up and you're going to put yourself in a very bad situation. What I'm going to suggest you do is scrap the contracts. Don't go for the contracts because a lot of people will be doing this, especially the intel contracts and the safe crack contract. I know I said in my previous solos guide that you should be going for the safe crackers. However, that was a few weeks ago, and at that point, not a lot of people were going for these. However, every single game, these are going to be rammed, and they're going to put you in a very hard situation if you do not win that first engagement. So instead, I'm going to give you 2 options where I think you should land that are going to give you incredible positioning and a lot of loot. Now, the first one is going to be the police station here, and also, I'm going to suggest that you go to the bank. Now, do bear in mind that depending on where the flight path of the plane is headed, one or even both of these might not be the best place to go. For example, if you're going straight over bank and there's a contract there, it's probably a good idea not to drop there because there's going to be a lot of other people. Obviously, if you want to get into a fight, then do that early game. But if you're trying to win, which is what this video is about, then making sure that you are looted and you have everything you need is going to be your priority. What I also look for when I'm trying to land is that there is a vehicle nearby. This is why I love dropping at the bank, because you can get a lot of cash very easily. And if only one other person lands there a lot of the time, then you'll be able to avoid that fight, get a little bit of loot, and then go straight for the Hummer underneath high rise. And then at this point, what you want to do is drive to a buy station that seems like it's pretty out of the way. By now, you should have at least 5,000, and what I'm going to tell you to do is straight up just buy the Fennec. It doesn't matter what your primary is, it doesn't matter whether the circle is going to end. The best thing that you can have in your loadout is the Fennec. It is an absolute monster up close and it's going to give you a huge advantage in those early game fights. Plus, with the recent nerfs to the popular AR, the Fennec has become even more dominant. Now, let's move on to the mid-game. You've landed, you've got your loadout, and hopefully you've avoided any unnecessary engagements. The next step is to start looting and gathering resources. Look for contracts like Recon or Supply Run. These are going to give you valuable intel on the upcoming circles and also provide you with cash and discounts at buy stations. Use this time to collect armor plates, ammunition, and equipment. It's also a good idea to have a UAV or 2 in your inventory for later use. Another crucial aspect of the mid-game is positioning. Pay attention to the circle and start moving towards the center. You want to be in a good spot when the circle starts closing in, as this will give you a better chance of controlling the engagement and securing a favorable position for the final moments of the match. While moving towards the center, be mindful of your surroundings. Use natural cover, buildings, and high ground to your advantage. Always be on the lookout for enemies and try to engage in fights only when necessary. Remember, surviving and making it to the late game should be your priority. Finally, let's talk about the late game. This is where things get intense. The circle is small, the remaining players are geared up and hungry for the win. Your decision-making and gunplay will be critical here. One of the most important aspects of the late game is awareness. Keep an eye on the kill feed and the number of players remaining. Use your UAV and other reconnaissance tools to gather information on enemy positions. Knowing where your opponents are can give you a significant advantage when it comes to positioning and planning your next move. Additionally, be cautious when engaging in gunfights. Sound plays a crucial role in Warzone, so use suppressors on your weapons to remain stealthy. Choose your battles wisely and don't rush into unnecessary fights. It's better to let others weaken each other before swooping in for the kill. Lastly, communication is key. If you're playing with a squad, make sure to coordinate your movements, share information, and work together as a team. Utilize pings to mark enemy positions and communicate effectively to maximize your chances of success. Remember, winning in solos is all about playing smart, making calculated decisions, and adapting to the ever-changing dynamics of the game. By following these tips and focusing on your gameplay, you'll increase your chances of securing those sweet solo victories. So, that's it for today's video. I hope you found these tips helpful, and I wish you the best of luck in your future Warzone matches. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.